Hey guys, this is Drakkalan bringing another Kingdom of Heroes Tactics War video. Today we're going to be talking about Whitebeard. Whitebeard is a water guardian, meaning he's a tank in this game. He's got low mobility and he walks, so don't expect him to get anywhere fast. He does have pretty good base stats, especially since he's a Nat 5 unit. Mine is currently a level 60 awakened hero, not 6-star but 5. We will be 6-starring him down the road. He was probably the second, I believe, Nat 5 that I summoned in the game, so he definitely helped me clear the PvE scenarios. He helped me in Arena. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this unit. I think he's got a pretty good kit, especially for what I use him for in Arena and Guild War. So right now, as you can see, the stats, they're kind of all over the place. There's a little bit of everything. I've got an HP rune, defense rune, and a crit rate rune on him. That's why he's at 60% crit rate. Honestly, I'd like that to be 70 plus, if at all possible, but I really want his HP to be at least a 1,000 points higher, if not more. Talking about Whitebeard, the costume, there are no costumes for Whitebeard currently, so we can't add any more additional stats to him. We would also be a little short. You need 250 costume tokens to get it. We just bought one for Vivian the other day. So right now he's at 172 out of 250 for whoever we buy the next costume for. Back it up. So we'll take a look at his runes and the way that I've got him built. So right now, my Whitebeard is built Charge Life. You could do Charge Havoc, you could do All Life, you could do All Havoc. It's pretty much however you want to build him, but the stats you're generally going to be going for with him will be HP, defense, a little bit of crit rate, and you need accuracy. And having speed's never going to hurt, but if we keep listing off stats, it's going to be like my other videos where I just say, yeah, put as much of everything as you can on him. Alright, that's the ultimate goal with any rune build on any hero, is just to get as many stats on there as possible. But in his case, the focus is going to be HP, defense, accuracy, and maybe a little bit of speed. That way he can land his provokes, he can land his other debuffs, and he moves fast enough while being able to take damage, not to just kind of sit there. So instead of charge runes, he'd probably do really well on a swift life set. And I wouldn't put him on Earthquake or anything with stun because he doesn't have... Well, no, I rephrase it. Sorry, I would put him on Earthquake too because he does have an AoE ability, right, that slows down everybody's speed, so that AoE ability would have a chance to stun, so he would do fine on Earthquake runes as well. Pretty much he's just a very versatile unit. You could technically build him on Vampire or a full attack set and use him as an attacker. He does hit pretty well. It's really personal preference, but being a Guardian, right, I try to build Guardians tanky because their innate stats are going to focus more on being tanky. Just like DPS heroes, I tend to build for more damage, and Priest I tend to build to be more heals. So he's already awakened, and if we look at his skill set, we'll start with his S4, Playing Dirty. At the end of the turn, Whitebeard transfers 1 debuff on himself to an enemy with the lowest HP percent, so he's already targeting or trying to target whoever happens to be the weakest unit. So that's good for Guild War, good for Arena, and it's nice to kind of burn down whatever is about to die anyway. At the end of the turn, Whitebeard has a 35% chance to steal 1 buff from the enemy with the most buffs. Duration of stolen buffs are increased by 1 turn. Right, so he's stealing it, he's acting kind of like a stripper, and he's kind of acting like a debuffer for himself. Very versatile. Skill 3, Fire Support. Receive supporting fire from your boat, attacking enemies within a target area. This is that AoE skill I was talking about. The skill's damage increases when the enemy hit has lesser remaining HP. So the weaker the enemy is, the harder it's going to hit. Successful hits have a 60% chance to reduce the speed of walk-type enemies hit for 1 turn. And that's pretty noticeable in Guild War and Arena when you're trying to skill cycle. So if you paired him up with somebody that increases the attack gauge, gives you more turns, or somebody that decreases the attack gauge of the enemy team, this is just going to help you get that many more turns in between, or cut in between. The accuracy, or the chance for it to hit is 60%, but it is going to go up to 80%, which is pretty significant on a 2-turn cooldown. So this guy's got a lot of good uses, and I've seen this hit pretty hard whenever I've been using it. And running him against fire teams is great. Running him in dungeons where it's a fire-based units is great. No place to run. Throws an anchor at a target enemy and pulls them towards you. Successful hits reduce the target's mobility for 1 turn and has a 65% chance to reduce their defense for 1 turn. That 65% chance is going to go up to 80% chance. And it lands pretty often at 65, but 85 would be very nice, but you've got to do 6 skill ups into it to see that. The increased range is going to be nice, but the reason I like this, right, is if you want to target a specific unit, and maybe that unit is backing away from you, then he'll throw his anchor out there, grab him, and pull him right in front of him to put him in a position to where maybe your back line can get in there and get a few hits in and burn that unit down. So, and the defense break obviously makes it that much easier to burn him down. The reduced mobility, so they can't get away that easy. So you're gonna kind of want to sync this up, and this is where things start to get more complicated, especially when you get more towards Guild War and Arena teams that you want to work very well or sync together pretty well, where you need a speed tune them, right? So you would want him to go, throw his anchor out there, grab the guy, pull him back, and then you want your DPS to go. Your DPS are probably going to be pretty slow, so shouldn't be too hard to sync up with them properly. I'd probably run him with a pretty bruiser team. Sorry, I'm about to cough for a second. Took some pre-workout and I think it's stuck in the back of my throat. Alright, skill 1, Rip Flesh. So we can already see that it's got the provoke, and we can already see that it's got the continuous damage, right? So 2 debuffs off of 1 skill. Strikes target enemy with an anchor. Successful hits have a 55% chance to provoke the target for 1 turn. If the target has an active speed debuff, right, so that syncs up with his S3, you inflict continuous damage for 1 turn. The continuous damage, like I said, is very nice, especially when you're fighting other tanky units, especially if they have an elemental advantage over Whitebeard, so he's not going to be critting as often. And if we look at the skill ups, right, so he's going to have damage increase, which is nice, but not that great as far as what we're looking for, but that effect duration +1, right? Now, if we can boost that provoke to 2 turns and boost that continuous damage to 2 turns, that is amazing for an S1 ability. And there would be times when you're controlling him, you might want him to do nothing else except that S1 ability to make sure you're getting as much continuous damage out as possible, or just provoking a unit to keep it controlled and keep it in front of your lineup. The effect rate going up by 15% total, so that's going to give us a 70% chance to provoke. It's great. Speed debuff means that continuous damage is going to hit any time that speed debuff is hit, so we would have to swap off to the S3 occasionally just to make sure that speed debuff is there if we're trying to stack continuous damage. Overall, Whitebeard, great unit in my opinion. A lot of people use them. I wouldn't sleep on them. You know, it's using him in arena teams, especially if you're going up against like an Ifrit. I mean, he's going to counter Ifrit pretty well because Ifrit's not going to be as tanky as him. You put that provoke on her, she might be able to burn him down, but by then your other unit should have stepped in and helped burn down the enemy Ifrit. And we all know that Ifrit, Bunny, what is that other unit's name? I can't think of. The Mage, Morgana. 3 of the most popular fire units, and you'll see them all over the arena. The other things you see in arena, and that's where this guy's going to be best at, right? He's going to be good in PvE for a lot of different circumstances. He's going to be good in Awakening Dungeon. He's going to be good in Rune Dungeon. But where he's going to shine, in my opinion, is Guild War and Arena. And if we go into Arena, just to give you guys an example, right? Look at this. We've got 3 Dark Heroes. We've got Ingwe down here, so he wouldn't be that great on this team. Wouldn't be that great on this team since it's almost all green heroes. And this first team, though, you get the Morgana, you get the Beelzebub. So he'd do well in here. He could tank Ingwe while at the same time helping pull the Mage close enough to your team to burn her down. Because you'd probably want to burn her down first, burn down Freya second, Beelzebub third, and then save Ingwe for the last turn. And then Muspel, he's one of the most popular leaders right now because of his 30% attack skill. So, and obviously there's an Ifrit in there too. So that's a team I would take Whitebeard in just to have him grab the Nat 4, burn him down, and then grab the Ifrit and burn that down. And then we can deal with Bartholomew and Ingwe in our own time without having to worry about getting burned or destroyed by the other 2 heroes. And that's where I would use them at. We can refresh this so I can always come back later just to show more examples, right? So we got another fire hero, another Ifrit, right? And Ifrit was one of the most highly chosen units in the game, so you need to have a strong water unit. So Vivian, being a great priest that we just made a video about, is fine, but she's not going to be able to deal enough damage to take down an Ifrit that's built on vampire runes, for instance. And that's where, you know, somebody like Whitebeard would come in and help you handle anything that you would struggle with in that instance. So that's it for this video, guys. If there's any other unit you want me to cover, just leave it in the comments below. And if you could, please like, subscribe, and we'll keep bringing out more content.